Hello everyone, welcome to this channel and welcome to the short tutorial. In this simple step-by-step tutorial I will tell you how to install the General Electric CF6 for FELIS Great Boeing 747-200. With this engine option you are able to fly, for example, Lufthansa-liveries with the correct engines. Before starting with the installation, there are two things you need to know. If you're using the Skunkcrafts updater to update your FELIS Boeing 747-200, you need to know that by updating it, the mod might be deleted. At the moment, we do not have enough experience to confirm if the mod gets deleted for sure. This is why I just want to remind you that it might get deleted and that you might need to reinstall the mod again after updating your aircraft. The second thing I want you to do before installing the mod is to create a backup copy of your aircraft. Please create a backup copy so you can just change back to it in the unlikely case that something gets wrong during installation. So without any further ado, let's get started. The first step you need to do is to download the General Electric CF6 mod. To do this, simply click on the download link provided in the video description below. If you've downloaded the mod, then you will find it in your downloads folder. The file you've downloaded is a zip file. The zip file needs to be extracted to proceed any further. So for the next step you need to extract it by right-clicking on it, choosing Extract All, or in my case, Further Opinions 7-zip Extract All. What you need is this normal folder, which is named exactly like the zip one. The next step is to open this folder. When open, you will find another folder in it. You will need to open this as well, and you will find these files. For the next step, you need an additional file browser. In my case, I opened up this split screen here by attaching one of the file browsers to the right side of the screen and the other one to the left side. In the right one, you can see the files we just opened. It's the downloaded FELIS 747-200 CF6 50 mod. But that is just 50%. For the other 50, we need the 747 base folder. In your 747 base folder, you will find the object. This one here. You need to open it. All the content on the right can now be copied to the left. But if you want to make yourself a favor, or to simplify this, you can create another folder in here and name it General Electric CF6. You can now open this folder and can now paste all the content from the right in there. It doesn't really matter how you do it. You can just copy the contents of the right-hand side into the main objects folder or into the GE CF6 folder you've just created. For the next step, you won't need the folder on the right anymore. You can just close it. The only folder which is open right now is the 747 FELIS Objects folder. But this is not the one you need right now, so you have to navigate back. The main folder of your FELIS 747 is what you need at the moment. In this folder you will find the ACF file. It's this over here. You need to copy and paste it in this main folder. Just Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V, and you will see that Microsoft Windows will rename it to the same name and copy afterwards. It's your task now to rename this copy. If you're using Windows 10, you can just right-click, or when using Windows 11, just click over here. You need to delete the copy and then change the PW from Pratt & Whitney to GE for General Electric. After this, you can save it. You now have two ACF files in the main folder of your 747, the PW for Pratt & Whitney and the GE for General Electric. In the next step, you need to open your plane maker. You can do this by navigating into your X-Plane 11 main folder. In your X-Plane 11 main folder, you will find the plane maker over here. The plane maker is an executable file, so you can just open it by double-clicking or right-click and execute. If you open the plane maker for the first time, it is possible that you only see a blank screen. It might also be possible that you see a weird-looking tube in the background. The next step you have to do is to choose File on the top left and then Open. You now have to navigate to the ACF file you just created. You just need to open your 747 main folder and choose the Boeing 742 GE FELIS ACF file. You can open this by clicking the Open button on the bottom right or by just double-clicking on it. The loading process may take some time, and if it is complete, you can see the FELIS Boeing 747 in the background, just like I do. If you want to move your plane around, you can use the WASD keys. For the next step, you need to choose the Standard tab in the top left. Your option of choice is Standard and MISC Objects. Choose this and you can see all the objects that were attached to the FELIS 747. You need to find some files and to delete them. The delete buttons are on the left. In German, as in my case, it is löschen, but in your case it should be clear. Please keep in mind that clicking the clear button will clear the object immediately. There will be no further warning, so you need to be sure that the object you want to clear is the correct one. Please make sure it's the correct one before pressing the clear button. The first object you need to locate is the Exterior Engine Details object. You need to scroll down, but preferably not using the scroll wheel because this is terribly slow, but using the button on the right over here. There it is, Exterior Engine Details object. You need to clear it by clicking the clear button. It has now been removed. The next one is the Exterior Engine Cowls object. You can see it over here. Just press the clear button as well. For the next step, you need to detect the Exterior Metal Parts object. This is over here. Delete that as well. The Exterior Decals object is also to be deleted. And for the last step, you need to find the Exterior Engine Fans object, which is located here. Delete that as well. You now have deleted all the objects necessary. You can scroll down to the very bottom of the page. The next thing you need to do is to press the Add button on the bottom left. It is located here. Press it 6 times. By pressing the Add button, you will add another entry. And since you pressed the button 6 times, you added 6 entries. You remember copying the contents of the CF6 mod into the objects file, do you? You will need them now. You need to add them in here, and you can simply do this by clicking the gray square. Each entry you added has a gray square, and if you click the gray square, the folder of the plane you're editing pops up and you can choose which object file you want to add. But at the moment, as you can see, you're located in the main folder. This is incorrect because you want to add objects, and the objects are located in the objects folder. So you need to open the objects folder over here, and if you've done it like I did, by copying it into the GE CF6 folder, you need to open this as well. If you've just copied them into the objects folder, you need to find the objects in here. The first object you need to find is the Exterior Decals GE object. It's located here. You can add this by clicking on the Add button in the bottom right or by just double-clicking on it. It has been added. You can see this by watching the text, which just appeared in the white line over here. For the next steps, you need to repeat the exact same process. Click on the gray square, navigate to the folder where the object files of your mod are stored, and in there, detect the Exterior Metal Parts GE object. You can add this by clicking on the Add button or by double-clicking on it. Then go down 1 entry and repeat. Gray square, objects, and the next one is the CF6-engine 1 object. Thereafter, the engine 2 object, engine 3 object, and for the last part, engine 4 object. You now have successfully added all 6 objects you need, but that is not all. You need to define where the objects need to be placed. and you can do this by editing the numbers here. There are 3 number boxes. You can edit these boxes or the numbers in it by clicking the gray arrows below or above the numbers. Every single one of these 6 objects you just edit needs to be edited like this. So if you click on these arrows, you will see a change in the numbers. If I click the up button, the number will go 1 up. If I click the down button, it will go 1 down. What you have to do now is to enter the following number: 16.99. This is all for the exterior decals object. But since you've added 6 objects, you need to edit this number 6 times. 1 time for each object. So just head 1 entry down and edit the number as well. And you can proceed by doing that for the last 4 entries. But you're not done with the numbers yet. You need to go up to the second entry from above. It is the exterior metal parts General Electric object. You've edited the very left of the numbers, but you also need to edit the middle and the right ones of them. In the middle you need to enter this one, 2.31, and for the right numbers, it is 34.82. In my case, you can't see the 2. I don't know why. But please be reminded that the number in here needs to be 34.82. The numbers are now complete. We can now take care of the right part. You can edit the shadow modes and the high resolution. For the first entry, we need to check the high resolution checkbox. We also need to edit the shadow mode. Just click the shadow mode, you will see the drop-down menu popping out, and what you have to select over here is all views. The drop-down menu below this one is also to be edited, but just clicking on it and choosing No Prefill. Proceed by doing that for all the 6 objects. There need to be outside, all views, no prefill. And that is all. You successfully edited the numbers, the shadow modes, and the high resolution checkboxes. You can now close this window by clicking one of the X's on top. If you use the WASD keys, you can move around your aircraft. You might want to save the changes you did by using a different name. By using a different name, it might be easier to find the aircraft in your aircrafts list. To do this, simply click on Standard, Creator and change the names. Please keep in mind that this aircraft was created by FELIS. Do not change his name or his credits. Please only change the name of the aircraft so it's easier for you to locate it in your aircrafts list. But there's one last thing to do. You need to save now by pressing Ctrl S or by just exiting this window, because PlaneMaker will ask you to save. You have to click Save because otherwise everything you just did will be gone. For the last step, you have to navigate into your 747 FELIS main folder. In this folder, you will find the Preferences file. It's called Boeing 742 Pratt & Whitney FELIS Prefs. This text document is created, for example, by creating views. Every single view you created in your simulator is saved in this text file. If you want to save these views for the General Electric version of the 747, then you just need to copy this by Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V, and thereafter renaming it to the exact same name the ACF file has. It's now called B742GE FELIS Prefs. But there's one last thing to do. If you want to have sound for the aircraft, you need to open up the Fmod folder. It's located over here. Open it and find this file. It's a sound file and it needs to be copied, pasted and renamed. It is just as before. If you copy a file and paste it into the same folder you just copied it from, it will be renamed to the exact same name with a copy after it. Microsoft Windows will do this for you. You now need to rename this file as well. Just replace the PW with GE, press Enter, and your sound file is finished. And that's it. With all these changes you added the General Electric CF6 engines, and this in a way that you can use the General Electric and the Pratt & Whitney engines in one install. You do not need a copy and you can choose which one you want. And here we are in the simulator. As you can see, the engines are installed and are working properly. You can also see this by looking from here. If you want to get into a passenger view, you can also do this, and they're looking great as well. You might also want to watch them from here, which is also possible very simply. At the end, I would like to thank Willi614 for the 3D modeling, Frederick von Imhoff for the texturing, and Dino644 for the UV unwrapping, the plane makers, animations and the documentation. Thank you very much for this mod. If this tutorial was helpful, I would be very glad if you could thumb up the video. If I wasn't able to help you with this video, please tell me why. Just write a simple comment and I will be happy to assist you. Thanks very much for watching, have a nice warm day, and until next time.